Hello fellow crafters, my name is Katarina and I'm the founder of Fancy Yarns Australia. This is our 7th episode in our series on how to choose the right yarn for your next project. In this episode, we're diving into the crucial yet often overlooked steps of testing and swatching in yarn crafting, as well as providing you with some other practical tips when looking for the right yarn for your next project. Join me as we explore the importance of swatching, how to test yarn for suitability, and how to make informed decisions about your yarn purchases. Testing and swatching are essential steps in any yarn crafting project. They allow you to gauge the characteristics of the yarn, such as its weight, drape, and stitch definition, before committing to a larger project. Swatching also gives you the opportunity to test different stitch patterns and needle or hook sizes to achieve the desired fabric density and texture. While it may seem tedious, investing time in testing and swatching can save you from potential frustrations and disappointments down the road. Before starting a project, it's essential to test the yarn for suitability. This involves considering factors such as fibre content, weight, and texture to determine whether the yarn is appropriate for your intended project. For example, a lightweight, delicate yarn may be perfect for a lacy shawl, but unsuitable for a sturdy, durable sweater. Similarly, a bulky textured yarn may be ideal for a cozy blanket, but may not get you the desired effect with intricate lacework. When swatching, it's crucial to follow the same techniques and stitches that you'll be using in your project. This ensures that your swatch accurately reflects the final fabric and allows you to identify any potential issues such as gauge discrepancies or colour variations. Begin by casting on a sufficient number of stitches to create a sizable swatch, then work in your chosen stitch pattern for several inches. Once complete, block the swatch to relax the stitches and improve accuracy. Gauge is typically measured in squares of 10 centimeters or 4 inches. The number of stitches across a 10 centimeter sample are counted, and the number of rows down a 10 centimeter sample are counted. The number of rows and the number of stitches form the gauge. You may find at the end of the swatching process that the yarn you have selected isn't the right yarn for your project. Fear not. Ravelry and other online resources are invaluable tools for yarn crafters, providing a wealth of information and inspiration at your fingertips. Use these platforms to search for patterns based on the yarn you have, the amount of yarn you have, and the type of project you'd like to make. Ravelry in particular offers advanced search filters that allow you to narrow down your options based on criteria such as yarn weight, meterage, and difficulty level. By leveraging these resources, you can find the perfect project for your yarn and ensure a successful outcome. One of the joys of yarn crafting is the ability to adapt and improvise. Consider exploring alternative projects that better suit the characteristics of your yarn. For example, a yarn that didn't work well for a garment may be perfect for accessories like hats, scarves, or gloves. Experiment with different patterns and techniques to make the most of your yarn's unique qualities. Remember to document your testing and swatching process for future reference. Keep detailed notes on the yarns you've tested, the needle and hook sizes and stitch patterns you've used, and any observations or insights you've gained along the way. This is especially important if you enjoy working with a particular yarn and would like to use this yarn to create another pattern in the future. If you're using a similar needle or hook and pattern, you can probably skip the swatching step if you've already swatched in the past. The information you gather during the swatching stage will be invaluable as you continue to hone your skills and refine your crafting preferences. Embrace each swatch as an opportunity to learn and grow as a yarn crafter. Some other particular considerations to keep in mind when choosing yarn is frequency of washing and the care requirements of the finished item. If you're making something intended for regular use or for a time-poor friend who prefers low-maintenance items, it's essential to choose yarn that is machine washable and easy to care for. Opt for yarns labelled as machine washable or superwash, which can withstand repeated washing without shrinking or felting. This ensures that your hard work will stand the test of time and remain in pristine condition, even with frequent laundering. Also, don't forget to take your personal preferences and any allergies into account when choosing yarn. Some crafters may have sensitivities to certain fibres or dyes, so it's essential to select yarn that is comfortable and safe to work with. I know in our house we have a few people who are sensitive to wool, me included. I only work with wool when I'm making a jumper or something I know will be worn away from my skin. I also know that I am someone who runs rather warm, so I can only really withstand wool on a few days each year, even living in Canberra. For the most part, I prefer working in cotton and plant-based fibres as I find them more breathable for my body. Now, this isn't the case for everyone, so spend some time getting to know your preferences as well as the preferences of the person or people for whom you are creating your project. Consider factors like yarn texture, loftiness, and breathability, as well as any colour preferences or aversions. Ultimately, the goal is to choose yarn that not only meets the practical requirements of the project, but also brings you joy and satisfaction as you work with it. If you found this episode helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Fancy Yarns Australia YouTube channel for more crafting wisdom. Don't forget to follow us on social media. You can also subscribe to our newsletter on our website at www.fancyyarns.com.au. In our next episode, we're discussing yarn shopping tips when it comes to choosing the right yarn for your next project. So bring your shopping bags and we'll see you next time.